You are listening to an interview with clinical hypnotherapist Dr. Steve G. Jones. For a free hypnosis download, please visit stevegjones.com.
Today's guest is Dr. Steve G. Jones, and it is such an honor to have him spend time with us because I want to tell you, from Forbes magazine, they made it public knowledge that Steve can charge in the area of $25,000 for a 2-hour session with his top executives, actors, directors, producers. And to think that he's spending time with us and giving you a free gift is just mind-blowing. So if you're not familiar with this amazing doctor, he's a clinical hypnotherapist. He's one of the best in the world and author of many books, like 22 books, I believe. Dr. Jones has his doctorate in education, multiple degrees, including psychology, and he crosses into the business world to boost sales teams on motivation and productivity. So I personally find his voice so soothing. Steve, I've been falling asleep to you at night listening to your Inner Millionaire relaxation track. And maybe everyone will have the opportunity to get that track as well. So Steve, why don't you jump in, or I'll go on all day just giving accolades for what you represent.
Well, thanks for having me here, Debbie.
How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks. How about you?
Yeah, I'm having a good day. Thanks. And where are you calling in from?
I'm on the West Coast.
You are?
Yep.
So am I. I'm in California.
All right.
Mm-hmm. So we're having a beautiful day. And I'd like to just jump in and ask you, Steve, when I use the word mindset, what does that mean to you?
Mindset means the frame of mind with which you approach most things. So it can be positive or negative. It can be a can-do attitude or a can't-do attitude.
Yeah, and then that helps us make decisions just from that mindset.
Yes, I agree with that.
Mm-hmm. Great. And so you've spent many years earning degrees, your doctorate. I read that you even studied at Harvard. And it sounds like you've always been programmed for success. Was there ever a time in your backstory that you didn't feel like a success?
Oh, I think there are parts of every day of my life that I don't feel like a success. I think that's a common human occurrence. I think we all have our ups and downs. There are sometimes periods that I go through or just parts of the day. So this is something that's that recurs for me. I think for most people that does as well.
And then when you're feeling like that, how do you get through it, or how do you get past it?
Me personally, I focus on what I have achieved and what I'm working on. And for lack of a better term, I focus on the bright side.
I like that you said you focused on what you have achieved. So I think many of us don't give enough credit to ourselves for what has brought us to this, state that we're in. I know for me, when I'm attempting something new, I feel so small and so ignorant about it. But you're right. If you think back of what you've done and how far you've come, and look what you have achieved, it just gives you an automatic boost. So I can take on something more. I can learn more. I can grow into something more.
I think so.
How about yourself? Yeah?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
No. Go. I didn't ask it yet.
Okay. I thought I interrupted you starting to ask a question. I was giving you an opportunity to finish it.
I was going to say that. So, how about yourself? Did you had to step into the shoes of success that you are today?
Yeah. I mean, life is a journey that has lots of complicated twists and turns. I suppose overall we can say that, we can sum it up and say that I had to step into the shoes of success. I would agree with that in a general sense.
In a general sense. When I listen to your, I'm calling it a meditation tape, but it's really not. It's this program I listen to at night when I'm falling asleep. Just in the past week, I've been doing it. And yeah, I get the impression that you would just constantly be feeding yourself positive images and feelings and just letting go of anything negative whenever it would creep into your system. Is that the way it works for you?
Me personally, yes. I'm constantly learning. I listen to audiobooks all day long. I'm always focusing on learning new things, even though I have completed my education up to the doctorate level. In my field, there's no more formal education for me to learn currently. But yeah, I'm always filling my mind with just the things that I'm working on and getting information, mostly researched data concerning it. And that's for me personally, though. I don't know if that's a one-size-fits-all approach, but that is what I do, yes.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm sure you incorporate what you do for other people, you must do for yourself.
I do. I believe that we all have to choose our own path. We have to work on what we're going to work on in our own way. So having been trained academically, I work on things. I approach life, I approach challenges in an academic way. I do not believe that approach is appropriate for most people. I would, I know from knowing that most people do not have a doctorate. They don't employ a high level of critical thinking when they analyze something. So that's why I say that works for me. What seems to be a blanket approach that people can apply to their individual lives would be, these days we call it having a positive mindset or thinking positively. That doesn't mean much in and of itself, but it's a good generic phrase that, when applied specifically in people's lives, helps them get where they want to go.
Mm-hmm. That's probably the perfect lead into my next question for you. I like that you use the academic way for your own self-propulsion. But so you have a reputation as being one of the best in the world as a clinical hypnotherapist, and you do get people to make positive changes in their life. So if they're not from that academic background, can you tell us how you do that? How can you get us started?
That's multifactorial. I mean, as I said, a blanket approach would be positive thinking, which seems to be very popular these days. But it's really case by case when I work with an individual.
Okay, so we don't have any little generic tips or nuggets.
Can you give me a specific scenario, and I'll give you a specific tip or nugget?
Oh, that's a great idea. Yeah, I think many people, well, my first reaction, I'm thinking, oh, this is really about business, but my first reaction was many people are trying to lose weight.
Okay, so a tip about losing weight?
Yeah.
Well, I lost 30 pounds in the past year. The way I did it was I hired a professional registered dietitian and a registered exercise consultant who trains with me once a week ongoingly, and I exercise 3 times a week. So I think those would be great ideas, making use of mainstream things such as that, talking to your medical doctor first, getting a referral to a registered dietitian, and then the dietitian probably knows an exercise trainer. That was the situation. That was the case with me. As far as what I would do for someone if I were working with them. My part as a hypnotherapist, I would work on their mindset. When I work with someone on weight loss, I approach it from a five-part. I take it in 5 parts. We do 5 sessions together. The first session is on confidence. I believe that everything starts with confidence. If you're confident, you can do pretty much anything you want. If you lack confidence, then it becomes difficult. So first session, first week is confidence. Second session in the second week is eating things that starting to eat things they should be eating and stopping to eat things that they should not be eating. So we're increasing proteins and green leafy vegetables, things like that, cutting down on sugars and excess fats and so forth, carbs. And then we move into exercise motivation, getting them to exercise in a way that their doctor has approved. And then we get into binge eating. I find that a lot of people around the 4th week or so start to binge eat because they do not feel that they should be losing weight. They feel that they should be overweight. There's a subconscious reason for them to have extra weight. Perhaps they had some unwanted attention in their youth, and the extra weight is causing them to be, in their mind at least, less attractive and therefore less prone to being violated again. So we deal with things like that. Sometimes at that point it'll be necessary to refer them to a psychiatrist or a psychologist if it is a matter that goes beyond my expertise. And then in the final week, we're working on cleanup, anything I may have missed that we are programming them to have success in. For example, maybe they need more confidence, more motivation, another boost on their exercise motivation, or it could be anything. So that's what we work on in the 5th and final week.
I love that. So you're programming them like in layers. So could we do another one?
Sure.
And this is a little more business oriented, yes. So how could you help us as business owners and entrepreneurs? We're facing a lot of overwhelm. Maybe we're trying to wear too many hats. So how can we program ourselves to eliminate overwhelm?
Well, I always rely heavily on the medical profession. So I would refer them to their primary care physician. Perhaps I'm not a big fan of prescription drugs, but sometimes they are helpful. So if they are suffering from some sort of anxiety, which I'm not able to diagnose because I am not a physician, I would refer them to their physician. Perhaps they need something along those lines. Perhaps they need to be referred to a cognitive behavioral therapist to learn some techniques that would help them. But if they are dealing with, so you're saying that the patient presents with the idea of wanting to make more money, and the patient feels that the reason they're not making more money is because they are overwhelmed by what happens in their lives. Is that what we're dealing with?
Usually overwhelmed with too much work to do, too many projects that needs their attention. Maybe they're not good at delegating, so they take on too much responsibility. They see the bills coming in, they have payroll to meet. It just becomes all too much at times, and they may feel stagnant or they can't push forward because there's too many balls in the air.
Okay. It sounds like this particular patient that we're talking about, this generic patient that we're talking about, could benefit from being also referred to a financial planner or a life coach or business coach, because they may have a lack of organizational skills. As far as what I could do for them, because it sounds like they have a lot of other things going on that need to be dealt with other professionals, but as far as what I could do for them, I could teach them how to self-regulate their stress using hypnotic techniques. I could also teach them or train them to train themselves on how to focus on creating business plans that make sense and becoming more organized.
Oh, that sounds perfect. I love that. You said self-regulate stress. That's really key. And then create plans, their business plan, and maybe even plan out their day and just get more organized with how they want to approach life. Makes really good sense.
Right. Yes. Go ahead.
And then, are you saying with hypnotherapy then, it's like we can change old patterns because we're inserting these new patterns of how to regulate stress and how to maybe set up our day where we're going to create a plan before we jump in and try and just get the project, done, or spending more time in the thought process, the creation of what needs to be done instead of just always action.
I would agree with that. And as with anything, it's different strokes for different folks. So again, it's not a one-size-fits-all approach, but depending on the individual, that approach could very well work if they are open to changing the way that they're doing things and they're actually going to do the things that I'm suggesting to them. Then that approach could work very well.
You are listening to an interview with clinical hypnotherapist Dr. Steve G. Jones. For a free hypnosis download, please visit stevegjones.com.
So let's talk about productivity for a moment, because I see you have like 200 CDs available, MP3s available on
I have
every possible issue from acid reflux to fear of success to weight loss. And so you are very productive. And do you have any key tips that you can help us to increase productivity?
Well, I think that a lot of it comes down to the individual. It's I teach people all the time how to be more productive, and I'd say maybe 1% of the people I teach actually apply the information, unfortunately. Being highly productive and, getting products and programs out there is something that can be done, but it's really a matter of someone changing their mindset, perhaps seeing the possibilities. I've actually created about 9,000 audios, and I've created over 20 different certification programs. We have about 30,000 students globally at any time. I've written 22 books on hypnosis. So those types of high-level productivity processes are they're easy to explain, but they can be challenging to get someone to implement. So I find that hypnosis does help with that. When people are open to hypnosis, it can help reprogram them to become more motivated. Sometimes it's just a matter of exposing them to what high levels of productivity really look like, because a lot of times people come to me and they say, hey, I'm thinking of writing a book, and they're spending a lot of time getting their ideas together, and they think that this book is going to change their lives. And I tell them about book writing and how little it actually produces an income, and how you need to not just put all your eggs in one basket. So I do my best to make things very practical for people and to explain to them that your results financially are going to be a result of your productivity. And if all you plan to do is produce a book, you're probably not going to be very financially successful. So again, sometimes it's just a matter of educating them about the possibilities that humans have and the high level of productivity that it's going to take in order to become wealthy.
Right. You had me thinking, so many of us, we tend to think small, like I'm going to write a book, but we're thinking small. They're not thinking of all the steps that have to take place after you write that book, how you have to get it out to the people, and then how you have to continue marketing, and then how you have to serve bigger circles, and the service keeps growing and growing.
That's a very good point. A lot of people don't think about that. And so for anyone considering writing a book, I'd say write it, get it done as soon as possible, because the greater challenge is going to be marketing. So I have a distribution channel where we can access about 10,000 customers immediately through our email contacts, but most people don't have that. And so they write a book and then they say, now what? So the now what part is the most important part. The marketing part is the most important part. So I would say get the book written and get on with the marketing part as soon as possible.
Mm-hmm. Right. Really good tip. Excellent. So do you have anything going on, like any new programs or some pet projects you'd love for our listeners to hear about?
Yes, we always have something going on. I met with Dr. Joe Vitale, a good friend of mine and business partner. He was in the movie The Secret. We had our yearly meeting in New York, and then we met again at his house a few weeks ago in Wimberley, Texas. And next year we'll be releasing the Law of Attraction trainer program. We have the Law of Attraction certification program, basic and advanced, where people can get certified as a Law of Attraction practitioner. But now we have we're releasing the trainer program next year that will allow people to become trainers in this, and the master program, which will allow them to just have a better understanding of it when working with their clients and themselves using the Law of Attraction.
Oh, I like that. A trainer program is going to be different than a certification program?
Yes. So the certification program, you become certified as a Law of Attraction practitioner, either basic or advanced. And in the trainer program, you become certified to train other people to become certified.
Oh, okay. Got it. And so I didn't realize that you were so closely, directly related with Law of Attraction philosophy?
Well, my contribution to it is the more of the practical side of it, the meat and potatoes part of it, where you learn to get things done. That's where I excel. And so Joe Vitale comes in with the metaphysical part, and I come in with the programming your subconscious mind part to get this stuff done. And so together we seem to make a good team.
All right. Yeah, that's what I think of as mindset, is programming the subconscious mind and then getting it to align with your beliefs and your value system and your experiences, your environments. All of that for me is what makes up mindset.
I like that.
But that could be easily influenced by, right, the people around us, our parents and our schooling and all of that. So it doesn't mean it's really coming from us.
I agree with that. Most people are influenced by, exactly that, their environment, what they grew up in, what they're currently in. So there's a tremendous amount of discipline required if you're going to make a change in your life, if you're going to change what we're calling mindset, which is your way of framing the world and looking at the world and therefore taking action. You will limit the actions you take based on the success or lack of success of your friends. So it really does the mind a lot of good when you surround yourself with highly successful people who are even more successful than yourself. I think that is what causes us to grow and to reach and expand and dream and believe that we can be more than we are. Otherwise, we tend to just be average. When I say average, I mean we tend to be our income, for example, will tend to be an average of our top 5 friends' income. So why not make those top 5 friends very, very successful people?
You're right. I love that. Hang out with the big thinkers, and then your thinking will start getting bigger as well.
Absolutely.
Because we'll see possibilities. And yes, and you hang out with tons of big thinkers. Everyone can go to your website and check that out. Which is, by the way, stevegjones.com, right?
Yes, that's it.
Website to find you.
Right, okay. And we have the free recording for accessing your inner millionaire at stevegjones.com also.
That's great. And we're going to tell everyone to go there and get that free gift. And that's what I've been listening to for the past week.
Oh, excellent.
When I fall asleep at night. I love it. I have a question. Maybe I didn't look into it in depth, but should I be doing that with a headset on or earbuds, or is it okay it's just sitting next to my pillow and I'm listening to it without any earbuds?
That's absolutely fine. You will get the full binaural effect if you listen to it in stereo, no matter how you accomplish that, either the speakers on either side of your head or on either side of your bed, or earbuds or headphones. But I realize life happens. That's not always convenient. So in many times in modern technology, for whatever reason, the stereo effect is gone. We just have one speaker that plays music from our phone or our device, whatever it may be. So that's fine. You will get more effect if you can create the stereo effect, because the binaural effect is a phantom tone that doesn't exist, that's created in the center of your head, which is the mathematical difference from the left channel and the right channel. If you subtract one from the other, the difference in frequency is the frequency that you will hear in the center of your head. So that's what we call the binaural tone effect. You will not be able to get that in mono if you're not listening in stereo. However, the difference in effectiveness that you will achieve with mono versus stereo is minor. So I really wouldn't worry about it.
Okay, cool. Well, I can start putting in the earbuds. But I'll tell you, the first night I did it, I was asleep. I mean, we started flying and I was asleep, The second night I did it, I could stay awake and I listened a little bit farther. And then maybe the third night, I realized deep into that track, I can hear your voice 2 times. And that's when I started thinking, oh, wait a minute, maybe this is like brainwave entrainment, binaural stuff is going on. Maybe I should have earbuds. So I thought I'd ask.
It enhances it, but for practical purposes, not necessary. Right.
Okay. So yes, listeners, go to Steve's website, stevegjones.com, and get this free gift that we're talking about. You're going to love it. And is there anything else you wanted to say about that, Steve?
About the free gift? I would just say listen to it. Uh-huh. It's a hypnosis recording, so... What's that?
Yeah, I was going to say do it with earbuds. But,
well, if you want.
It's a hypnosis recording.
It's a hypnosis recording designed to be listened to at night as you go to sleep, and ideally you would listen to it for 21 nights in a row as you go to sleep. It's very relaxing. It's just my voice with some music and other tones that allows you to go to sleep. If you fall asleep listening to it, it's fine, because the messages will still go to your subconscious mind. And if you skip a few nights in those 21 nights, that's absolutely fine as well.
You make it sound so easy. And your voice is so soothing.
Well, thank you, Debbie.
It's really delicious and a delight to fall asleep to.
Yeah, the only drawback is when I talk to friends on the phone, they say I put them to sleep. So that's the only drawback of being a hypnotist.
All right. And so that download, by the way, folks, it's called Program Your Inner Millionaire for Wealth.
Right.
And give it 21 days. Yes.
And it's available at the website, stevegjones.com. You got it.
Steve, this has been so delightful, just spending a little time getting to hear from you and share with our audience. And I want to thank you for showing up.
Oh, Debbie, my pleasure. Thanks for making this possible. Thanks for facilitating this conversation and helping get the message out there that your subconscious mind is the key to changing your life.
I love that. And that's a great tip. Do you have any other words of wisdom or tips you want to sign off with?
Well, I usually leave people with this, and I didn't come up with this, but I like it a lot. It's some words from a musical group called America, and it was about the Wizard of Oz. And it says, Oz never did give nothing to the Tin Man that he didn't already have. And the takeaway from that for me is that when the Wizard of Oz was handing out these physical representations of things that the characters already had, we realize that we already have within us the tools that we need. We already have the beauty, the wonder, the splendor, the ability, the confidence, the motivation. We already have that within us. But sometimes we need a reminder of that, and that's what hypnosis is, the reminder of how great you really are.
That is so great. And we can all use that reminder. Even as you said early in our conversation, how there are days when you don't feel like a success. And if you don't feel it, then you know the rest of us ain't feeling it.
We're all human. We all have the same challenges, and we're all getting through this thing called life. So the better we can do it, the better it is for all of us.
Yes, yeah, very well said. All right, Steve. Well, if you want to sign off, thank you again.
Well, thank you, Debbie.
And we're going to say yes. And let's say goodbye to all of our listeners. Thank you for checking in today. Please go to Steve's website, stevegjones.com. Pick up that Inner Millionaire for Wealth download. You're going to really enjoy it. And I want to wish all of you health, wealth, and joy always. Thanks again. This is Debbie. Bye for now.
You are listening to an interview with clinical hypnotherapist Dr. Steve G. Jones. For a free hypnosis download, please visit stevegjones.com.